Hello everybody, Brady with Boss Laser. Today I'm going to go ahead and walk you through how to disassemble your Boss Laser Gen 5 machine to fit it through a doorway. Now I want you to remember to be very cautious when doing so, have a lot of support and help. You want to make sure you keep the integrity of the tube in line as well as the gantry and every moving part of your machine. Going forward, there will be two ways you can do this, with the tube in and the tube out. This will be a personal preference on how you feel safe and how you feel comfortable moving your machine. Again, the procedure will be exactly the same. You can either keep the tube in or you can remove the tube. Either way, I'll go ahead and explain that. For the 1630 all the way up to a 3655, this procedure will be exactly the same. For the 1416 model, once we're done, we'll jump on that. Going forward, what I first recommend doing when you're going to be moving this into a doorway will be to remove and open all the doors and then remove them. I'm going to go ahead for this purpose on this machine here, this 2436, and just keep the doors open. But you're going to want to go ahead and pop off the doors here. And what this does is makes it easier to transport and a little bit lighter for you. Now there's going to be 8 Allen screws holding this thing together. So you can do this two ways. You can lay a mat or a rug behind your machine, something that'll cushion it or you don't get any scratches on the back of the machine. Two is you can first have help pick this machine and you can tilt it on its backside first with the tube installed carefully, and then go around and you can see, I'll show you the 8 bolts and then remove the 8 bolts, or you can first remove the doors, take off the 8 bolts, and then lift the machine up. So again, 8 bolts will be starting in the back. Each section is going to have 2. So you'll see one right here on the back side. Then you'll have the back left. The front left will be right here, as you can see. If you follow me to the front here, you'll see the first one is going to be located right here on the front. You're going to have one more right here. On the front right side, if you're standing in front of the machine, you're going to have your first one right here. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. You're going to have one located in the back of the machine here. So if you look, there's going to be one directly on the back of the power supply, which I'll show you right here. And then on the very back of the machine, on that rail, right there. So again, that's the 8 Allen bolts that you would have to remove. And once you do get those removed, again, whether you do it first and lift this up carefully and place it on its backside to get it to the door, or you can go ahead and tilt it on its backside, then loosen the bolts, take them out, and then pop off the back, because this is what we're taking off right here. We're disconnecting this bottom part. That gives you that leverage. Again, you can either keep the tube in or you can take the tube out. I want you to also understand that when you do remove the tube from this machine, that you have to be very careful. You're dealing with glass there. There's metal prongs that come out of each end, which is your high voltage connection and that ground connection on that. The little glass nipples on there break very, very fragile, so be very careful if you do decide to go that route to remove the tube. And also remember, when you place it back in, you'll have to make sure that you're at that right distance and you check your alignment on your machine. Now, just because you didn't remove the tube doesn't mean you don't want to go back and make sure that your alignment's good to go. Because at any time, you are shifting and tilting this on its side. Again, secure everything inside, meaning if you can see, if you follow me over here and look in, I would zip tie the belts. I would come here and zip tie everything, just almost as if you got the machine, to keep everything sturdy and intact. Of course, you're not going to have your toolbox in there, but that'll keep the belts and everything else from slipping and moving during that case. So again, for the 1630 up to the 3655, there's going to be those 8 Allen bolts, 2 on each side to remove. You can either keep the tube in or take the tube out. Either way, check your alignment, especially if you did take the tube out. Also remember, you can either place it on its backside first very carefully and then do the bolts to remove the bottom section, or you can go around, remove the bolts, and have good team members around to grab, lift, and then turn that way. Again, it's going to come down to a personal preference. The 1416 is a lot easier. Obviously, it's a smaller machine. On these ones, they have built-in stands, so it makes it a little easier. what we're dealing with here is again 4 Allen bolts right here. Each side is gonna have one each corner. So there'll be one here, the back side, again on each corner. So once you take those parts out of there, the bolts, you're gonna see the cross beam in the middle. Next thing you're gonna wanna do is remove the 4 on each side, bolts on each side here. Take out the cross beam. What this does is it allows this, at that point, the legs of the machine to go ahead and fold up underneath your table, again giving you that clearance to get through a doorway. I don't recommend obviously moving it while it's standing straight up. For this case, you can easily get a lot of help. Again, these look light and smaller, but they're about 350, 400 pounds. So get that help. Carefully turn it on its backside. Every time, whether it's this machine or the bigger machines, you want to keep it on this side of it when you're transporting it, okay? You can either take the tube in on this, take it out. I believe on the smaller one, you should be okay to keep it in there. And make sure you tilt it on its backside before you remove the bottom and fold it in, unless you have this propped up some way or another. Other than that, that's gonna be how you would disassemble to get through a doorway. If you need any help after that, go ahead and give us a call at Boss Laser or email us at techsupport@bosslaser.com. Thank you, I hope you have a great day.